Hi folks, this is Grandpa Dickey. Today we're going to put together one of the microwave carts. This is a cart that has the microwave rack on top and then it has an enclosed cabinet below. This is like the second size up. It can also be used for the larger size that just has a cabinet and doesn't have the open space. First thing you want to do is to put together the top rack assembly. Okay, first I'm going to attach the top, make sure the reamed out holes are on the top to one of the sides. I'm going to use 1 1/4 number 8 screws and tighten those right down. I start both of them before I tighten them down, that way you can align the holes a lot better. Okay, at this point this is what it should look like. You've got the top on, you've got the two sides on, and now we're going to attach the bottoms of the sides onto the top of the cart. Now I'm going to take and put the top on. Here again we got the countersink sunk holes, or the ones that are reamed out a little bit. I'm going to take the 1 1/4 number 8 screws just like before. Okay, now we're going to prep the sides and get them ready to put onto the top assembly. I mean, the sides are exactly alike at this point. The only difference is that one of the panel has 2 holes near the top, and that's where the handle goes. You can actually put the handle on the left or the right, depending on how you put the glide on. So this is the bottom, has a place for the caster. This is the top of the panel. Lay it flat. You see a lot of bored holes here. Don't confuse the holes with the staples that have nailed the main panel to the legs. These are little round holes. Then I'm going to take a glide support stick. There's both of them. There's 2. They're exactly alike. They have 4 holes. You're going to line up with the pilot holes 1, 2, 3, 4 near the top. This will be flush with the top. I'm going to take the 1 1/4 number 8 screws as I did before. Now you'll notice that this support stick has 4 holes, 4 little pilot holes near the bottom. We're going to put the glide on at that point, and the glide's going to be attached with the 1st and the 3rd. Now at this point you can say, okay, if I want this to be the right side as you face an assembled cabinet, then we're going to put that glide like this, with the wheel toward the front. So we'll just do that. We'll make this the right side. The most important thing is to line it up according to the instructions. And in this case, the wheel end of the glide is pretty much flush with the edge of this glide support stick. And so when you get 2 of these holes lined up, in this case it's like the 2nd one, then maybe the 4th from the end. It's not always that way, so the important thing is to line up the 2 that gets this wheel closest to the leading edge. And you'll see the 2 little pilot holes in there. And you have a little package of screws, and it'll say 5/8 number 7 screws used on the cabinet glide. This is considered the cabinet glide. So I'll just attach that in 2 places. Here again, there's 4 holes there, but you can only see 2 of them at a time. We're going to do exactly the same thing with the opposite side. The wheel's going to be toward the front, on the left front. Okay, to finish the door prep, it's easier to put the L brackets on at this time. The L brackets, if you look at them closely, they've got a long slot on one side, then on the other they have a hole, a round hole, and a smaller slot. On this particular table, the slot, the long slot, is going to be used to attach the L brackets. We're going to attach them just like that, and have the hole in the slot facing up. They're going to be flush with this top edge here. I'm going to attach them with 3/8 inch long number 7 screws. Okay, now we're going to attach the side panels to the back panel. The back panel, of course, is the biggest, thickest piece there. You'll see 4 nut access holes. these are going to go toward the bottom, that are closest to the bottom. And then if you have a center dowel hole here, not used on this model. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the side panel, and this is going to be the right front as you face an assembled cabinet. And I'm going to attach that to the back panel using 1 3/4 inch machine screws. Machine screws are the ones that don't have a point on them. Use a Phillips screwdriver and a nut. And I'm going to start lining that up at the threaded bolt, the machine screw in there. I'm going to take the nut, put it on the tip of my finger, put it in the wood access hole near the wood, near the where the bolt's coming in. You'll notice that the wheel is facing out. This is the right front. I will be attaching the left front to the other side in exactly the same manner with the 1 3/4 inch machine screws or bolts and the nuts. Okay, now we're going to attach the cabinet assembly to the rack. You'll notice I've got the top of the rack on a smooth surface. The bottom of the cart top is facing up. Got the 4 little pilot holes. That's where your L brackets are going to go. So I'm going to take and then I'm going to bring the side assembly up, turn it around. This is the front of your cart, and then we'll attach the side assembly. Okay, now we've taken the cabinet, we've put it up on the bottom of the cabinet top. I've aligned the L brackets through the hole in the L brackets. And I've put 3/8 number 7 screws. Now some people want to know, well, what's the difference between a number 7 and a number 8? The number 8s are just a little bit fatter. That's the only difference. They're exactly the same length, measuring from head to tip on this particular type of screw. And the number 8s, this is a number 8, this is a number 7. Not a lot of difference. Put the heads together. You'll see the number 7 is just a little bit smaller. And now here I'm going to start those 4 pilot holes. This is the front of your cart. These wheels in this case are pointing in this direction. And so then I'm going to screw those down. Okay, next we'll assemble the top front brace. Notice the little magnet block, soft wood, no pilot holes for the magnet, but that's okay. Now what we're going to do is take a 3/4 inch pin, that's the shortest one in your pack, and put one in each of the ends of this brace. Now we're going to take and put those pins in the slots in the legs. You see there's slots in the leg? Put those in the slots. Then we're going to secure that brace. We're leaving room here for the drawer. We're going to come in and secure this brace with those bolts like we did before. Okay, now we're going to do a little door prep. This is the left front door. I'm going to put the spacer on there. This is the spacer. When I get the spacer on, it's going to have a little gap at the top, and that's to allow clearance for the magnet. I use those 5/8 number 8. In this particular case, they're bronze. They're the little bit fatter 5/8 one. Just going to attach those in 3 places. Put the countersunk or ream down. First, it's going to overlap the door because it's going to hide any openness between the doors. And I'll put that aside. And then I'm going to put the magnet plate onto the other door. Probably when it comes out of the pack, it'll be stuck to the magnet. Got a couple little bumps on it. That's going toward the wood. A little bit of a countersink on the face of it. We're going to start that. This takes a little bit smaller Phillips tip, but the little flathead screw, the one that goes in there, you're going to put that parallel with the top. Okay, we're going to take that right front door. We're going to put the longest pin. You have 2 sizes of pins left. You have the 1 inch for the shelf supports, and then you have the longest one 1.5 inch. Those go in the doors. And you don't need a washer on this end because it's the top of the door and there's no friction. Put a pin at the bottom. Sometimes you may have to tap that in place. Put that in so. Open the other one. You see, when those are together, you can't see inside your cabinet. Same size, 1.5 inch pin. Put those in the top here. And because these are pivoting pins, I'm going to put a washer on the top of each of those. So when you turn it upside down, or right side up in this case, that's what it's going to pivot on. Okay? Next I'll put the bottom front brace on. I'll put a 3/4 inch pin into either end of it. Going to slide that down. Put those pins in the groove in the leg. Slide that down so that the hole in the bottom of the brace lines up with the door. Secure that brace with the 1 3/4 inch bolts and nuts. Okay, while we've got this upside down, we're just going to put the casters or the wheels in. Put the little caster stems, you see the teeth. We're going to put that in. We're going to hammer that in. You don't have to pound it flat, but you want to make sure that the teeth grab real well. I normally put the locking ones, that's the one with the little lever here. Usually put those on the front. So put it in there. You can push it right down if you can. You can just take and tap on the metal part and it'll go right in. And then the plain casters, just put them on the back. Okay, while we've still got this inverted, I think you'll find it easier to put some of these other things on, like the magnet. To put the magnet on, we're going to just snap it onto the plate that's there. Hold it down. We're going to bring it in. We're going to open the other door. Bring this in so that the magnet is over the bar, and just press your thumb down real hard, and you got it in the proper position. You can either mark that with a pencil, or you can just leave it in that position. Here again, you need a small bit Phillips. These are the round-headed ones that came with it. And then you got a good fit. Now we're going to put the towel bar on. You have your stainless tube, you got your standoffs. I'm going to put that in there. Then we're going to attach those with 1 inch screws. Those are just a little bit smaller. They're the same diameter as the other screws that we've been using. Screw these on down, and you'll have your towel bar in place. Okay, now we're going to put the door handles on. There's 3 handles. One goes on the drawer, 2 on the doors, and you have the little machine screws. Here again, there's no point on those. They're 1 inch. Now before you put the disc in, take and tighten up that bolt. Make sure it's good and tight, because it might have loosened up a little bit as you maneuvered it around. You'll notice the discs have a little bit of grain in them. I line that grain up with the grain in the leg, and then take a hammer and put a little something over the hammer again, so that I seat those, and that way you got the grain going. See, if you ever need to take one out, just take a little knife blade and sort of inch it out, and you can always tighten them up that way. But you do that, 4 on this side, 4 on the other side. Okay, now we're going to assemble the drawer. This is the drawer back. It's got 4 holes in it, a slot for the drawer bottom. Drawer front, 2 holes in the front for the holes where the cams will go. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the side to the back. Now, and I'll secure that down. And I'll put the other side on. Now I'm going to take the drawer bottom, just take the best side of it. Make sure that's up to the inside. So slide that down into place, make sure that seats into the drawer back. And then I'm going to take and attach the cam post to the front. And just start screwing that in. You're going to screw it down until all those little threads are in. And you repeat the same thing on the other end. Now that I've got the post in place, I'm going to attach the front. I'm going to take one of the cams. If you notice, the cam has a little four-way slot there, and there's a couple little arrows on there. One is at the ends of one of those slots. When that goes in this hole here, that little arrow is going to be pointing toward the post. The other arrow shows you which way to turn it, okay? Basically a clockwise turn. So I'm going to insert these first, making sure I got the arrow pointed out. Then I'm going to insert this in, and tighten it right down, real tight. We'll put this handle on exactly like we put the other handle on. Okay, the final thing for the drawers, we're going to put the glides on. The glides have a little lip, and they fit right over there. There's only 2 or 3 holes in there, and this glide is going to go pretty much right up against the back of the front there, and you'll see the 2 little holes line up. Then we're going to take the little packet that says 5/8 number 6 screws, use on drawer side glides. This way you don't mess them up. You want nice flat-headed screws here, because if you don't, it sticks up into the track. The other glide will hit the head of it and you won't be able to close it. So we're just going to take a Phillips screwdriver again, secure the glide. Okay, the last thing, or one of the last things we're going to do, is we're going to put the shelves in. We've got 2 shelves. One has a finished edge on it. That's going to be your middle shelf. The one that has both edges unfinished and just a little bit larger, that's your bottom shelf. Just take these 1-inch pins. You'll see the holes in there. Okay, with the pins in place, I'm going to put the bottom shelf in. And what I do is just angle it in, put the back edge on the pins, drop it down, you got a little space, close your door, fall into place. This one, a little bit narrower, bring her up, put it into place with your smooth finished edge here. Put the wheels over top the other wheels, make sure it's gliding nicely. And there you have everything all finished.